I hope you're all having an awesome day. I just on here live real quick because I was just in a conversation I had the other night with my husband, and it's come up multiple times, you know, and so it's in my mind because it's like, is this how other couples do it? Is this a couples thing? And basically, excuse me, the conversation was something like, he was like, oh, you should always come to bed when I go to bed. We should always go to bed together, so that we can settle in for the night and get some rest. And we've been together. We've been married 4.5 years, and we've been together going on 21 years. So this type of thing has come up a lot, especially a few years ago when I was working retail. I work a corporate job now. So when I was working retail, my hours were all over the place. So, he always worked a regular corporate job, 9 to 5, and with a retail job, my hours were all over the place. I could be working in the morning, one day I could be working a closing shift another day. And so if we got to see each other, it was a miracle. Most times, he'd be coming home from work and I may be heading out to work, or he's been home from work, 6 o'clock in the evening, and I don't get home until 11 o'clock at night. And for me, it's always been that, well, I guess a couple of things, right? One is, if I've been running around, for example, in that retail job, I'm getting home at 11 o'clock at night. I'm probably having something light to eat and, something to munch on because I've just been working a couple of hours without a break or whatever it may have been. And when I get home, my blood's running. It says if you went out for a workout and stuff, right? Your mind is still going, your body, it takes a little while for you to like settle in and calm down. And the last thing I want to think about, when I get home from work at 11 o'clock at night is, okay, I got to, go to bed. And, I need a few minutes, to settle in, to wind down and get to the point of wanting to go to bed, right? And so nowadays, when I'm working a corporate job, it's a little different, right? So with the corporate job, I'm 8 to 5 or whatever. So I'm home. The thing is that, I tend to work from home remotely a couple days out of the week. So I'm home all day. So we may not be running around as much during the week because we're working. And so at the end of the day, I've got all this energy. My mind is running 1,000 miles a minute. The last thing I'm thinking about at, 9 o'clock, 9:30 is I've got to hurry up and get to bed. My day doesn't start until, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, except the last couple of days where I'm getting up early to do my sitting meditation. But anyway, for him, for my husband, it's different because he starts work at 6:30 in the morning. So I know he has to be up early, right? He works, from 6:30 in the morning until about 3:30 in the afternoon, 3:30 in the afternoon. So I know he has to get to bed early, and he usually does. He gets up and starts getting ready for bed around 9:30, and he probably falls out sometime around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. But I'm not going to bed at that time. I'm not going to bed at that time. I'm not going up at 9:30. I may go up at 10:30, 11 o'clock, right? Because I'm working on things, I may be catching up on a show, whatever the case may be. And so when he made this comment the other day about, oh, you should come to bed, when I go to bed, we should go to bed together, so we can settle in for the evening and, and get some rest. And in my head, and again, this is a conversation that's come up multiple times. And so I'm curious if this is something that comes up for all couples. Is this a conversation you all have where one couple goes to bed a little earlier or goes to bed first and then kind of nudges the other, right? Like, hey, you should be coming to bed. Now, don't get me wrong. I know, we've got those special days, special moments, special times, right? Where, yeah, you're going to go to bed together. But I'm talking about every night. Is it something standard? Is there a rule book somewhere that says every night you should go to bed at the same time as your partner so that you can both wind down and get a good night's rest or whatever, so you can comfort the other or help them feel, better or safer or able to go to sleep? I want to know, is there a rule book for couples that says you need to go to bed when your partner goes to bed? Is there a rule for this? What do you guys say? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. I'm super curious because he brings this up all the time, and I'm just one that, I tend to stay up later because I'm catching up on shows, catching up on I'm working on, some art projects, or I may be, editing some videos for the vlog, or I may be doing something. My mind's a mile a minute. I'm not a morning person. I'm more of a night person. So my brain tends to run 1,000 miles an hour at night. And I get it. I definitely get it, where, there are some nights where it's nice to get to bed together and spend, a few minutes together cuddling or whatever, right? But is there a rule book, guys? Is there a rule book that says you need to get to bed when your partner gets to bed every single night? It's like one of the mysteries of the world, right? Like, I feel like sometimes our partners create rules just because, right? So tell me, guys, tell me in the comments. I just wanted to jump on here live and have a quick unfiltered thought, because it came up and it's been on my mind. And it's funny, he made the comment and he said, you should ask your people what they think. You should ask your people, because this is something that all couples do. And I was like, I don't think all couples agree to this. I mean, I don't think all couples have to go to bed at the same time. Do you go to bed every night at the same time as your significant other? Tell me. Are you going to bed at the same time as your significant other? If not, why? If yes, why? I want to see both sides of this. Again, I have no problem going to bed with my partner, some nights, when I'm tired or we just want to wind down, we had a busy week, or, we had a long weekend. Yeah, we're probably going to crawl into bed at the same time and whatnot, but not every day, and not so much during the week, because we have different, work schedules, and we're doing different things during the week. So again, I'm a night owl, so I tend to, my brain tends to operate 1,000 miles an hour at night. I may be working on a gazillion things. And he's just, chillaxing, watching a movie or something. And so he already has his pattern. He has his routine where he, at 9:30 at night, 9:15, he's already making his way upstairs to start getting ready for bed. That's his routine. That's his pattern. He's used to it. He knows he has to be up for work at 6:30 in the morning. That's not my routine. I'm up at 9:30. When I do go up at 9:30, or I go up at 10 o'clock and I'm not ready to go to sleep, I end up awake, laying there, staring at the walls or on my phone for 2 or 3 hours, and I don't end up falling asleep until like 11:30, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, because you're just laying there in bed for, 2 or 3 hours. So now you're restless. And that's me. I end up restless because I've just got so much on my mind. There's so many things I need to do, so many things I want to do. And yes, I know I should relax and take it easy and, be a little more mindful and maybe go to bed earlier and turn my mind off and take advantage of the extra time to sleep. And I am working on that. But when he made that comment about, hey, all couples go to bed at the same time. Everybody goes to bed at the same time. And I'm just like, again, we've been together almost 21 years. This conversation has come up often. So I want to know, What do you guys do? How do you guys handle that? Guys and gals, are you guys going to bed at the same time every night? And if not every night, maybe a couple of nights, but tell me yes or no and why. I want to know. I want to know. I want to be able to bring this data back to him and say all couples are not doing this, or some couples are doing it and here's why, or here's what they think, right? So leave me some comments. Let me know what you think and stay tuned for the next Unfiltered Thoughts. Have a great one, guys. Thanks for tuning in.